दक्षिणामूर्ति सारंभा शंकराचार्य मध्यमा रमणाचार्य पर्यंता वंदे गुरु परंपरा वंदे गुरु परंपरा वंदे गुरु परंपरा शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मन चित्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनं मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्व अहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विद्यहं मन अहमयं कुतो भवति चिन्वत ऐपतत्यहं निजविचारणम् अहमिनाशभाज्यहमहं तय स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णसत् इदमहं पद भिक्यमन्वहम् अहमिलीनके प्यलयसत्तय विग्रहेन्द्रिय प्राणधीतमा नाहमेकसत् तज्जडं यसत् सत्त्वभासिका चित्त्ववेतरा सत्तया हि चित्तया ह्यहम् ईशजीवयोर्वेषधीविद सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलं वेषहानत स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनं स्वात्मरूपत. Salutations to Ramana, who shines as the self in all beings. I begin my sharing with a beautiful song, which is a translation of Ramana's work into Kannada. ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಲೋಕರೀತಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾಕಿದೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಮರುಳ ಇವನೆನಿಸಿ ಲೋಕರೀತಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾಕಿದೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಮರುಳ ಇವನೆನಿಸಿ ಹಂಬಲಿಸಿ ಕೂಗಿದರು ನೀ ಬಾರದಿರುವೆ ಹಂಬಲಿಸಿ ಕೂಗಿದರು ನೀ ಬಾರದಿರುವೆ ಈ ನೋವಿಗಿಂತಲೂ ಸಾವೆ ಮೇಲೆನುವೆ ಈ ನೋವಿಗಿಂತಲೂ ಸಾವೆ ಮೇಲೆನುವೆ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಎಸೆಯಬಹುದೇ ನನ್ನ ಕಸದ ರೀತಿಯಲಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲನೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಅಗಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರಲಿ ಎಸೆಯಬಹುದೇ ನನ್ನ ಕಸದ ರೀತಿಯಲಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲನೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಅಗಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರಲಿ ಗಿರಿಯ ಮರೆ ಧರಿಸಿ ನಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಶಿವನೇ ಗಿರಿಯ ಮರೆ ಧರಿಸಿ ನಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಶಿವನೇ ಕೊರಗುವಿ ಕಂದನಿಗೆ ತೋರೆಯ ಕರುಣೆ ಕೊರಗುವಿ ಕಂದನಿಗೆ ತೋರೆಯ ಕರುಣೆ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗಾಳಿ ನೆಲ ಜಲ ತೇಜ ಅಮಿತ ಆಕಾಶ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ನೆಲೆಯಾದ ಜಡದ ಆವಾಸ, ಗಾಳಿ ನೆಲ ಜಲ ತೇಜ ಅಮಿತ ಆಕಾಶ, ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ನೆಲೆಯಾದ ಜಡದ ಆವಾಸ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನೀ ಎನ್ನಲು ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೊರತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನೀನೆನಲು ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೊರತೆ, ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವೆನ್ನ ಏಕೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಮರೆತೆ, ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವೆನ್ನ ಏಕೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಮರೆತೆ, ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ, ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ, ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ, ಶರಣಾದೆನೋ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ, 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 ಅರುಣಾಚಲ. Bhagavan Ramana sings to Arunachala, "Oh Arunachala, I have surrendered to you, and why are you not taking care of me? You have brought me up in a certain way which is different from the world. Each one of us are brought up in a different way. Each one has an individual identity. And everybody is mocking me. Everybody is finding some mistakes, some lacuna in my identity. I am tired of this Arunachala. I have surrendered to you, and it is your duty to take care of me. Instead of, if you are not taking care of me, the death is better than this situation," says Bhagavan, donning the role of a devotee or a seeker. And he says, "I'm such a wasteful that 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 the whole I'm not at all worthy of anything. And you seem to be like that magnificent golden hill, and you are the Shiva in that golden form, and it looks like you are laughing at me. You are laughing at my puny self. You are so huge and all encompassing, and I feel that I'm so limited and so small, like a waste, like a garbage. Can't you listen to the prayer of your son? I'm calling out like a child. Isn't not your duty, like a father or a mother, to come and embrace me and lift me up to your state, O Arunachala?" So he is praying to Arunachala in various ways, saying that I am so puny and small and so such a worthless being, but you are so magnificent. You are Ishvara, you are Shiva, and I am a puny Jiva. When he's continuing in this fashion, Ramana gives the answer in the question itself. He says, "Gali nela jala teja amita akasha, jivakke nelayada jadada havasa." The gali, the air, the earth, the sky, the fire, and the water, all is you. All that we see in the world, in the universe, is you. Everything is you. We all understand this. But if everything is you, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನೀನೆನಲು ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೊರತೆ, am I alone different from that everything? Am I not included in that everything? ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನೀನೆನಲು ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೊರತೆ, ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವೆನ್ನ ಏಕೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಮರೆತೆ. I am one with you. I am you. Then why is there this difference? Why is this feeling that I am so puny and limited and you are limitless? Why is this difference? We have a wonderful Purandara Dasara Kriti which brings out a beautiful instance. I don't know whether this has been recorded by Valmiki or not, but Purandaradasa writes in his song, Illi nodalu Rama, Alli nodalu Rama, Yellelli nodidaralli Sri Rama, Illi nodalu Rama, Alli nodalu Rama, Yellelli nodidaralli Sri Rama, Ravanana ಮೂಲಬಲ ಕಂಡು ಕಪಿಸೇನೆ ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಬೆದರಿ ಓಡಿದವು. ರಾವಣನ ಮೂಲಬಲ ಕಂಡು ಕಪಿಸೇನೆ ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಬೆದರಿ ಓಡಿದವು. ಈ ವೇಳೆ ನರನಾಗಿ ಇರಬಾರದೆಂದೆಣಿಸಿ, ಈ ವೇಳೆ ನರನಾಗಿ ಇರಬಾರದೆಂದೆಣಿಸಿ, ದೇವರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ತಾನಾದ. ದೇವರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ತಾನಾದ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಲು ರಾಮ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಲು ರಾಮ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ. Ravana, who is the embodiment of the ahankara. The ahankara which manifests itself and it works through the five karmendriyas and the another five jnanendriyas are the 10 heads of this Ravana. When this Ravana appeared in this ferocious form, the puny Jivas, the little Kapi Sene, was afraid and they started running here and there. And Rama understood, this is the right time for me to manifest as Rama, as the whole world. Jagavella Tanada, he became the whole world. He became everything in the world. When he became everything in the world, lava, then Lavamatradi, Asura, Durularellaru. At that time, what happened? The Asura Sene is all waiting to kill Rama. So that if they kill Rava, their Lord Ravana is going to be very, very happy. So all the Asura Sene is waiting to kill Rama, but they see each other and they see, oh my God, Rama is standing just beside me. Then Avararu Horadi Hataragi Hodaru. They thought that Rama is standing beside me. The other person thought Rama is standing the other side. So all the Rakshasas fought with each other and they killed themselves. That was the state of the Asura Sene. But what did the Kapi Sene do? The Hanuman and other Sadhu Jana, what they do? They saw Rama beside them. They thought, oh my God, Rama, our leader, is standing beside me and fighting the war. I'm so happy to have him beside me. So they all hugged each other and they started dancing with joy. Such was the scene in the fight between Rama and Ravana at Sri Lanka. When one understands that everything is Rama, then just like the Hanuman and the other monkeys, they were so happy. They hugged each other, embraced each other and started dancing happily. Wouldn't we want such a beautiful experience of hugging and embracing and being one with that Rama, the supreme? There is one more similar story which is told in Bhagavatam, in the story of Sri Krishna. The story is that the Kamsa was sending the various Rakshasas to kill Sri Krishna because he knew that Krishna was the death for him. He had come, he was born to kill him. So the Kamsa was sending the various Asuras from his army to kill Krishna. And there was this special Asura whose name was Aghasura. And he appeared in presence of Krishna and his friends. They were playing in a form of a huge serpent and with his mouth wide open. And all his friends, Krishna's friend, they told Krishna, oh Krishna, there seems to be a new hill which has appeared all of a sudden. and it has a huge cave. Why don't we all go inside and adventurously find out what is there inside that the cave and come back? Come, let's go and play inside the cave. So Krishna and all his friends started moving towards that cave, not knowing that it is the mouth of that Asura, Aghasura, who was a huge serpent. And but Krishna found something fishy. Usually, a mountain will have some vegetation, some plants, some trees growing here and there. But this mountain seems to be a strange mountain. There is no vegetation. Although it sounds very, very fishy, but Krishna knew that he could tackle any situation. So he told, come, let's go. Let's find out what is there inside the cave. And Krishna and his friends entered the cave. As soon as all the children and Krishna and Balarama had entered the cave, the Aghasura, the huge serpent Asura, he closed his mouth, and all the children were in great fear. They all cried out, "Oh Krishna, save us! Oh Krishna, we are caught! We are caught inside this dark cave which has closed its mouth. We are in difficulty." Then Krishna told, "Don't worry." And Krishna grew huger and huger and huger. He became so huge that it tore apart that Asura who had come in the form of a serpent, and all the children and all Krishna's friend were saved. And when this happened, the gods and the rishis, everybody were celestials, were so happy that they showered the rain of flowers onto the Krishna and his friends. And all the scene was being seen by Brahma, Lord Brahma. And he thought, why is all these celestials showering flowers on this ordinary looking boy? Why are they doing this? What is so great about this young boy? So he thought, and he thought of a plan to test this young boy Krishna. So what did Brahma do? Brahma kidnapped all the children, not only the children, but also all the cows and all the calves. And he kidnapped them and took them to Brahma Lokam. And Krishna alone was left. And the Krishna wondered what had happened to his friends. If he alone goes back to the house, then all the others would question him and ask him, where did all our children go? All our cattle go? He will be questioned. So he did not know what to answer. So Krishna thought of a plan, and he manifested as every child in Gokula. And he manifested as every cow in Gokula. And he manifested as every calf in Gokula. And with all that group, which he himself was, they all went to their respective houses, and the cattle went to their respective sheds. And there was a great change in the atmosphere in the house. The parents were feeling great love in their children. They were this overflowing love towards their children. There was so much of joy in the house, and the cow's milk was much more tastier than before. And the whole Gokula was rejoicing, enjoying. Everybody were so happy. And Brahma, who had thought that he had kidnapped everybody, and the Gokula would be in a sorrow situation when everybody is crying, and they will be crying for their lost children and cattle. He came to test the people in Gokula. The Gokula people are all happy. They're all rejoicing. Then he wonders what has happened. I had kidnapped all of them, all the children and the cattle. Wow, where is this, all these children and cattle appearing from? Then he realizes that all these children that he has kidnapped are not those children. Those children are there in Brahmaloka. But Krishna has manifested as each one of these children and each one of these cattle. Then he realizes, oh, what a foolish person am I? I thought by taking away all these people, I can bring sorrow. But when there is Krishna, where there can be sorrow, where there can be anything lost, all that is fullness. That is Krishna. And he realizes his mistake, and he comes and he surrenders to Krishna and says, "Oh Lord Krishna, how foolish I was. I thought you are an ordinary boy whom the Devatas are showering their prayers to. But you are not an ordinary boy. You are Lord Narayana himself. You are that all pervading consciousness which has taken this human form to perform your Leela." He understood this, and he sent back all those children that he had kidnapped. And all those children came home and they told, "Appa and Amma, do you know, we were in some other loka. In that loka, everything was so different, so magnificent, so glorious." And the parents are wondering, what are these children talking about? They were with us all these days. They slept with us, ate with us, and they played with us, and they spoke to us till yesterday. What are they telling? They were in some other loka for such a long time. Maybe they're all dreaming. So they thought, and they nobody paid attention to those the words and those experiences with those children who had come back from Brahmaloka were telling. Such was the Leela of Krishna, which is so joyous. Imagine that we understand that we are not this limited identities. We understand that we are Krishna himself. We understand that we are Rama himself. We understand we are not this limited identity, the Jiva. Instead, we are the Ishvara. We are the Shiva Tattva. If we understand this truth, how much more joy will our lives be filled with? The monkeys are so happy to see a Rama beside them. Imagine if they themselves became Rama, they understood the truth that they themselves are Rama, then all the sorrows is destroyed and one finds eternal bliss, peace, and joy. And Ramana says that is possible because in essence, we are all that same divine power. Isha Jivayor Vesha Dibhida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam. Isha Jivayor Vesha Dibhida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam. Between Isha, the Supreme, and the Jiva, which is the limited being that we think we are. The only difference is the Vesha, the form. Vesha means a costume that we are wearing. This form that we are wearing is only a costume. And Ramana says that not only the physical body is one costume, we have 5 layers in our costume. What are those 5 layers? Which is our body, which is the gross body, the Annamaya Kosha. We have the Pranamaya Kosha, and we have the Manomaya Kosha, which is our mind, and we have the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is our intellect, and the Anandamaya Kosha, the Kosha which makes us say that we don't know, the Kosha of ignorance. All these koshas are only the costume that we are wearing. So only the form and our limited intellect, those two alone are different between the Isha and the Jiva. But in essence, we are same. Sat Swabhavato. In essence, with the true nature, our true essence, we are one and the same. Vastu Kevalam. Both Ishvara and the Jiva is one and the same. We all understand if somebody says everything is Shiva, everything is divine, everything is supreme. We all say, yes, 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 that is true, we understand. A devotee came to Bhagavan Ramana and told, Ramana, in our philosophy, we say that Sarvam Vasudeva Mayam Jagat. Don't you think this is the best statement among all the philosophies and all the Shastras and all the Upanishads? Don't you think this is the best statement? Sarvam Vasudeva Mayam Jagat. That is, everything is divine. Everything is supreme. Isn't it the greatest of all the statements? Asked the devotee. And Ramana told, yes, it is surely very, very profound statement. But when you say sarvam, when you say everything, are you not included? Are you different from that Vasudeva? Are you not also included in that sarvam? When you say sarvam Vasudeva Mayam Jagat, so you yourself are also Vasudeva. So turn within and find out who you are in the essence. Then you will understand the truth that you are also the Vasudeva. Sarvam Vasudevamayam Jagat. There is a very humorous instance where the radio is put on in the Liberty Hall, the old hall of Ramanashramam, and Ramana is sitting. And as soon as the radio begins, the anchor, the person who is doing an announcement, says, Sarvarige Namaskara. He says, Namaskarams to everyone. And Ramana smiles and says, see, that anchor is doing namaskara to himself unknowingly. He's doing namaskara to himself. Then all the devotees wonder, how is it that he's doing namaskara to himself? When he says, Sarvarige namaskara, namaskaram is to everyone, is he not included in that everyone? So he is doing namaskaram to himself. And that is the truth. That is the only thing which we need to do. We need to do namaskaram to ourselves. Because Ramana says, Sat Swabhavato Vastu Kevalam. There is no difference between Ishvara and the Jiva. In essence, we are the same. So when we are the same, we need to do namaskarams to ourselves. If you're doing the namaskarams to ourselves, we need to ask a question. Who is this I that I am doing namaskarams to? Is it the body that I think I am, that I have to do namaskaram to? No use, because this body is not giving that the joy we discussed about the joy which the monkeys felt when they felt the presence of Rama beside them, the joy which the families felt when they saw Krishna they felt the presence of Krishna in their children, in their house. So that joy you don't get by the body. We all know that the body itself is a big disease, says Bhagavan Ramana. So the body is ever changing, and every now and then the body is hungry and it is tired and it needs sleep and it needs comfort. If it's hot, it needs fan. If it is cold, it needs a sweater. So the body is wanting something or the other all the time. So if there is something wrong with the body, we don't know what is wrong with the body. There is some ache in the body. My head is aching or my stomach is aching. So we don't even know what is happening with the body. We go to some other person to find out what is happening with our body, and he gives some medicine which he thinks may cure. He says, I will try with this medicine. If it does not get cured, you come back again after 1 week. We will try one more medicine, says the doctor. So we don't even know what is happening with our body. So we cannot call this body the supreme. It is not at all supreme. But if we see our own body, we realize that there is some supreme power which is taking care of everything. The supreme power is making us breathe in and out eternally. That supreme power is making the heart beat and pump the blood to all the parts of the body. That same divine power is making the food getting digested in our stomach and excreting the waste. So all this is divine activity is happening automatically. So you understand that this body is not the true I that we have to do namaskarams to. But there is some other deeper power which is taking care. What is that deeper power? Is it the prana? Is it the breath? The breath is also activity of this body. It is breathing in and out. And there are pancha pranas within our body. One is this, the inhalation and exhalation that we do, and various other pranas which help us in the various activities in the body, where the digestion, the excretion, and there is which makes our intellect work. All these, the prana which is moving inside our body makes us do so many things. But the prana cannot be supreme, although it's very, very important, but it is not supreme. Any moment, the prana can leave the body. And when the prana leaves the body, there, when we are actually having a difficulty in breathing itself, we find it so difficult to live. So it does not bring any joy. Though this prana also does not bring that great joy that Supreme brings. So what is deeper than the prana? Is it the manas? The manas is ever changing thoughts. Bhagavan himself says, Manasam tu kim margade krite naiva manasam marga arjavat. If we question what is this mind, we understand that there's nothing called a mind. There's only thoughts which come and go, come and go. But when the thoughts are coming and going, there is this one thought which is always present. The I thought. Is that the supreme that we have to do namaskarams to? Ramana continues. Is it our intellect which creates all these thoughts? The thoughts of judgment, thought of discrimination, thought of right and wrong. Is that the supreme power? The buddhi is very, very important power. But in deep sleep, do we use our intellect? The intellect vanishes. Not only the intellect, all that we think which is supreme, this body, this mind, this intellect, it seems to vanish. And there is something in the deep sleep which gives us great joy, which can be equated to that joy which the Supreme, being in the presence of the Supreme, gave to the monkeys and to the people of Gokula. That joy is our everyday experience. And Ramana says that experience that you have in the deep sleep is your true nature. That is the supreme. When you go to sleep, you are actually the Jiva, the limited identity that we are holding on to. It merges in that supreme being. It is like, it is called the mother Chinmayi, and the Jiva goes and it rests in that lap of that Chinmayi. When it rests in the lap of Chinmayi, the Chinmayi embraces that Jiva and fills it with the necessary energy and makes it one with that supreme, all-encompassing, the omnipotent power, Chinmayi, the power within. And next day morning when we wake up, we are again filled with the necessary energy to continue the activities of the day. But as soon as we continue the activities of the day, we are again tired and we need to get back to that mother Chinmayi. Imagine you become one with that Chinmayi. We all know that we have a mobile and we need to keep charging it now and then. We need to keep charging it, and after some time we take out the charge and we start using the mobile. The whole day we are using. By the end of the day, the mobile has lost all the charge and it goes off at one point of time. So we need to connect it back to the charger and continue the charging. This is our experience which happens every day with everybody, every one of us who has a mobile in our hand. Imagine this, we have a power bank with us, a power bank connected to the mobile. Then what will be our experience? We will find that the mobile is always charged. It never goes out of charge. It is always full of charge, and you can do all the work that you can do with the mobile. That is one situation. If we are connected to that Chinmayi all the time, then we are ever filled with that power of joy. We are ever filled with that power of peace. And we are ever filled with that power to do all the activities that we are destined to do without feeling any tiresomeness, but with great joy. So Ramana says, you have the option of not working for joy, but you have an option of working from joy. If you are connected to that supreme source of joy, then you can do all the work with joy. We see that in the life of Bhagavan Ramana. He, early in the morning, he was awake, which is very, very different from my experience. If I have to get up early in the morning, I feel very, very sad to get up. Oh my God, I have to get up. I have to do all this work. I have to go there. I have to go here. So we are filled with sorrow as the moment we are waking up from our sleep. If we are woken up by our alarm, but Ramana, who was ever abiding in that Chinmayi, ever abiding in the self, he woke up with joy. Some devotee says, we don't even know whether Ramana slept or not. One devotee wanted to test whether Ramana would ever sleep or not. So he was trying to be awake the whole night, and he was trying to see what Ramana, whether he was sleeping or not. But Ramana was reclining on his sofa, and he was ever awake. And Ramana opened his eyes and asked, why? Why are you not sleeping? Are you not getting sleep? Even in the night time when everybody is asleep, when that devotee is awake, Ramana got to know that he was awake and asked him, are you not getting sleep? And the devotee realized that Ramana never slept. He was ever awake. How was he ever awake? If we are awake for even for a day, we are filled with tiresomeness. But how was Ramana was filled with energy even in the morning when he woke up? It is because he was connected to that power bank called the Supreme Self. Because he was connected to it and he was one with it. Not a power bank is separate and the mobile is separate. Imagine somebody discovers that the power bank itself is the mobile, inbuilt power bank, which never gets out of charge. A dynamo which is ever filled with energy. If we understand that we are that dynamo, we are that self which is all powerful, then we are filled with that enthusiasm which Ramana had. Ramana is praised by Vishwanatha Swami as Mahotsahaya Namaha. He was filled with great enthusiasm, and he used to go early morning to the kitchen at 2 o'clock or 3 a.m. in the morning and cut vegetables, grind the flour for making dosas and chutneys and also sambar. And he used to be a great uh, taster. Whenever the sambar is made, a chutney is made, he was the first one to taste it, and he used to taste it where he used to know what is missing in the ingredient, and he used to add it properly and make the dish perfect. And he used to share it with the devotee, saying that this work which I am doing, it's called the taster, the person who tastes the food and finds out what is less and what is wrong. It's a very, very lucrative career in the Raja's palace. Usually there will be a taster who actually tastes all the food and finds out what is right, what is wrong, what can be offered to the king and what should not be offered. So he is the taster. So that taster is paid more than even the person who cooks the food. So such is the status of that person who tastes the food. Okay, even nowadays we find that there's some tea tasters, and we have the wine tasters and all. They are paid very, very well, because they should have the very, very sensitive sense of understanding what is good and what is wrong, what is right, what is missing, what is of better quality. So they should have that sensitiveness. So that position, that place, that job is very, very lucrative. It's very, very good. And Ramana used to say, this is very, very lucrative job, but I am doing it for free. We are in an ashram, we are sadhus. Who will give us that money? So he used to make fun of his own job that he is doing. But while eating, was he very, very particular about the taste? Those who saw him eat on his leaf plate understood that after all the food was served, he used to mix it up all together and eat one morsel after the other without any difference in the taste. Although Bhagwan was very, very sensitive and was ready to give the best to all those the food was served, yet he was not particular of any taste, because he understood that everything is one and the same. For the one who had understood that everything is Shiva, where is the difference? Everything is one and the same. So Ramana has come into our life to teach us this path of getting back to our own true nature and find our oneness with the Supreme. If we don't find our oneness with the Supreme, then we may do some mistake. For that, Ramana tells the story of Mother Parvati. When Mother Parvati and Shiva were at the Kailasa mountain happily together, Parvati got a doubt whether the two eyes of the Shiva are Surya and Chandra and the Agni. Are those three are truly his eyes, or are they only the Kavi Kalpana? Are they simply the imagination of a poet? So she wanted to test for herself. So just like how Brahma tested Krishna, so she wanted to test Shiva, and she came and she closed his two eyes with her lotus like hands. And as soon as she closed the two eyes, the whole world, the universe was filled with darkness for many, many yugas. Because one tries for the Devatas, the Shiva and Parvati, is many, many years for the people and the earth. And the whole world was filled with darkness. And immediately the Shiva opened his third eye and he gave light to the whole world and protected the world. And he sweetly told Parvati, "Oh Parvati, take out your hands." And Parvati, realizing her mistake, quickly she took out her hands and told, "Oh Shiva, I, being the Jagan Mata, the mother of the whole universe, I have created such a mistake. I have performed such a sin of killing all my children. I have to do a prayashchittam. I have to repent for the mistake that I have done. So I will go to the earth and I will perform penance to purify myself." But Shiva says, "Oh, Mother Parvati, you are myself." In essence, the Shiva and Shakti are one. Isha Jivayor Veshadhibida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam. In the Vastu, in essence, we are one and the same. You are ever pure. So, one who is ever pure cannot do any mistake. So, there is no mistake that you have done. But it is good that you go and perform penance in the earth, because that will purify the earth by your tapasya. When we turn within ourselves, Bhagavan Ramana says, if you find your own true nature, that is the greatest service that you are doing to the whole world. So that is what Ramana says. So Shiva also says, Parvati, when you turn within and do tapasya, there is good, which is the mangala to the earth. And you will not only bring goodness to the world, but you will also show the path of turning within and uniting with that supreme within. You will show the path of sadhana to all the seekers of truth. So you go and perform your penance. So Mother Parvati took leave of Shiva, and Shiva assured, "Oh Parvati, don't worry. I will always be there with you, within you, in your heart. When we are doing sadhana too, the Shiva is ever within. He is shining as our true self within. He is guiding us, guiding every movement, and he is guiding our sadhana." So he assures this to Parvati, and he sends her to the earth. And from the Kailasa mountain, on the Himalayan ranges, she is walking down towards India, and she comes to Kashi. And she comes to Kashi, she sees that the world is in sorrow. There is drought in Kashi, and people are hungry, and they're all suffering. So to help them, she becomes Annapurneshwari, and she is serving food to all the comers. Whoever comes is filled, is given all that is required. She's taking care of their hunger. And the Raja of that place, the Kashi Maharaja, gets to know that there is this divine woman who is satiating the hunger of all those people in Kashi. So he comes running to see this great divine lady, and he understands that she is not an ordinary woman, but she is a divine woman. So he falls at her feet and says, "Oh mother, please stay here itself. Please don't leave us and go." Before that, Shiva would have come and would have told Parvati Devi, "Oh Devi, you have become famous in this place." So when there is fame, to do sadhana is very, very difficult. You will be distracted, and you will be worried about what will happen to your fame. Fame will not become uh, you will not become infamous. So there's always this fear of losing the fame, the fear of getting the desire of getting more fame. So you have become very, very famous here in this place in Kashi. So this is not apt for you to do tapasya. So you need to leave and go to some other place. You go to Kanchi in the south of India, says Shiva. But the Raja is telling Parvati to stay back. So Parvati says, he assures that Raja and says, "I'm going to be here as Annapurneshwari, and I'm going to bless you that Kashi will never ever have a drought ever again. There will be enough for everyone here at Kashi." So she blesses that place of Kashi, and she leaves for her sadhana to continue her sadhana in Kanchi. In Kashi, she shows the path of karma marga. That is by serving people without any desire, without any desire for any returns or desire for even fame. So she was working, she was doing seva to the people, and that is the karma marga. In Upadesa Saram, Bhagavan Ramana says, "Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodakam mukti sadakam." The action which is done without any icha, as an offering to Ishvara, when it is done, it will cleanses our chittam, it cleanses our mind, and it makes us ready for liberation. It makes us ready for liberation and for the self knowledge which we are seeking for. And after exploring and showing the path of Karma Marga, she came to Kanchi. There on the banks of river Kampa, she made a linga out of the sand there, which is now renowned as the Prithvi Linga. And she started offering puja, started offering mantras and songs, and started adoring that beautiful image of Shiva and started worshipping it. And when that was happening, to test her devotion, a huge flood appeared in the Kampa river. And all the Sakis, all the maidens of Parvati, they came running towards the mother Parvati and told, "Oh Parvati, this is the time to run away from here because the floods are approaching." And the Parvati told, "How can I leave my Shiva here and go away?" So she embraced Shiva as if to show that she is one with the Shiva. So when she embraced Shiva, Shiva was pleased by her devotion and he appeared before her. And you have shown the path of oneness, of bhakti here. Okay, you have told that you have revealed the path that we are in essence one through the bhakti marga by embracing me. But this is not the last point. You have to go to one more place, which is Arunachala, and there I will unite with you. When this was told by Shiva to Parvati, all the rishis there in Kanchi, they all came running towards Parvati, and again they all fell at the feet of Mother and told, "Oh Mother, if you are not there, who will take care of us? Who will fulfill all our desires, including our desires to be liberated? Who will take care of us? Who will fulfill us?" And the mother tells to the rishis and the sadhakas, "Don't worry, I am here as the Kamakshi. My imprints of my breasts are seen in the lingam here, in the Prithvi Linga, here under the mango tree, the Ekambareshwara. So I and Shiva are together here, and I, as Kamakshi, will fulfill all your desires." So by blessing those rishis there, she comes to Arunachala. When she comes to Arunachala, Shiva has instructed her, "Go to Arunachala and speak to meet Gautama Maharshi, and he is going to give you the glory of Arunachala, the significance of the Arunachala." So she comes to Arunachala and she comes to the ashrama of Gautama Maharshi in the Arunachala. And as soon as she comes, only the son of Gautama Maharshi is there, and he is thrilled that Mother Parvati has come to the ashrama, and he makes her sit, and goes. I'm going to. My father Gautama has gone out to get the summit and the flowers for the puja. I will quickly go and get him. So he runs to find his father in the forest. And Gautama Maharshi already has this feeling that some divine being has entered Arunachala, because the leaves and the flowers are becoming more fresh and more beautiful, because the Prakriti Mata herself, the Prakriti, the Parvati, has entered Arunachala, and he comes rushing with his son to see Parvati, and he is delighted to see Mother Parvati. And Parvati says, "I am here as a student to understand the glory of Arunachala." And the Gautama Maharshi says, "How can I describe the glory of Arunachala with my words? He is the Supreme Himself, who is manifest as this whole universe, who is the essence of this universe. He is the Sat Swabhava of the universe itself. And He appeared, that Supreme Essence appeared as a huge column of light long, long time ago in the time of yore. And this huge column of light, which was all engulfing, couldn't be understood by both the great lords, Lord Brahma and Lord Mahavishnu. And this has a significance, telling that Lord Brahma is the Vidyapati, the Lord of the goddess of learning, Saraswati. So he is the Vidyapati. How much ever Vidya you may have, you may know many, many languages, you may know many, many concepts which you can give lectures on, yet you cannot understand the fullness of the self by understanding the worldly Vidyas. And Mahavishnu is Lakshmipati. He is the Lord of wealth, the goddess of wealth. You may have all the riches in the world, yet you cannot understand, you cannot buy the fullness of the Supreme. Yet, although he cannot be understood by the great lords, he is available to everyone. He is the heart. Arunachalame aham, says Bhagavan Ramana. He is the heart in every being. And this hill that you see is not different from your heart. And this hill is not an insentient hill. It is not a non-living hill, but it is a hill of knowledge. It is a hill of knowledge of fire. And understand this truth, O Mother. This is the hill of fire. And this hill of fire, this hill of knowledge is ever shining within you as the heart too. And the Mother understands this and says, thank you for guiding me, and I'll continue my tapasya here. And she says, O Arunachala, Gautam Maharshi told that you are the fire of knowledge, and I want to be wedded with you. So you yourself are the fire in the marriage, and I am going to go around you, with you in my heart. And I, at the end of this pradakshina, just like how they take the pradakshina in the wedding, so I am going to go around this sacrificial fire of knowledge, and I am going to be united with you. Please unite with me. She prays to Arunachala and goes around the Arunachala in pradakshina. And I keep remembering, what is pradakshina? You start from one point and you end back in that same point. And the pradakshina with Ramana has given us is the pradakshina of inquiry. Ramana says, find out, from where does this I thought arises? From where does this limited Jiva Bhava, I am this entity, I am this, I am. From where does this feeling of I arise? You pay attention to that source and you get back to that source. You get back to the place from where you came. That is the true pradakshina. And just like how Parvati did pradakshina, she finished pradakshina and surrendered to that Shiva, that supreme fire of knowledge. And she was continuing her tapasya. When she was continuing her tapasya, there was this demon called Mahishasura. So all the asuras are only the embodiment of our own wrong notion of ourselves. We think we are this limited identity. When we have this idea that I am this body, I am Ujwal, I have this limited identity, then I will unknowingly or unknowingly, I am Asura, Asurik. So all the Asuras, they used to do penance to Lord Brahma, and they used to ask this and that. I want this, I want that, I want here, I want there. So they keep putting their Asuric desires to get fulfilled. So they are only leading a life tapasya only to fulfill their desires. So that is the tattva of Asuras. And the Mahishasura, he also has got a boon from the Supreme Lord Brahma, that he will only be killed by a woman and he cannot be killed by anybody else. So he is filled with this false pride and he is creating havoc everywhere in Arunachala and everywhere in the world. And he is he's creating disturbance. What does this ego do? It only creates disturbance in the sadhaka's sadhana. It keeps creating more and more thoughts. I like this, I don't like this, I want this, I don't want this. So all these thoughts are only getting created only because of our limited identity to this Jiva Bhava. And the Parvati Devi, she took the form of Durga and she destroyed this Asura, Mahishasura. And it is told that she killed this Mahishasura by her yogic power. How do you destroy this limited identity called ego, which is creating all these thoughts? Hiding behind the thoughts. So as soon as the thought arises, quickly ask the question, for whom is this thought? And the answer is, the thought is for me. And quickly turn your attention inward and ask, who am I? From there is this I arising. Whence am I? And when we turn our attention towards the I subsides into its source. That is the path for sadhana. So the Mahishasura is killed and she continues her sadhana at the right point of time when the Jiva is ripe, when the Jiva is devoid of all the vasanas, when Jiva is pure. The great ones say that the pure Jiva is not different from Shiva himself. It is like the pure Jiva is nothing but the pure mind or the pure I thought, which is not associated with any other object. That is Shiva himself. And that is the Shivalinga that we need to worship, the crystal-like Shivalinga, which is the pure I thought. And that is worship, that is held on to, that will take us to its source, which is the Supreme Self, which is the Ishvara Tattva, which is the Shiva within. And when Parvati was continuing her penance, she opened her eyes and she prayed to Shiva, "Oh Shiva, I am awaiting for your darshan. Why don't you show me your darshan of that Adimudi Kana Jyoti, that supreme engulfing light which did not have a beginning or an end. I want to have the darshan of that form of yours, all enveloping form." And as soon as she prayed like that, Shiva appeared in that form of the Adimudi Kana Jyoti. And she continued her inquiry. I am seeing this, the glorious form of Arunachala. I'm seeing that this huge, all engulfing form of Arunachala. But who is seeing it? I am seeing it. The whole image of Arunachala is contained in my eyes. So this all engulfing Arunachala is not big. My eyes are bigger than this Arunachala. But what is powering this eyes? It is my mind which is powering this eyes and which is making me understand that this is the all engulfing Arunachala. But who is powering this mind? Who is greater than this mind? When she inquired, the mind subsided into its true source, which is the true Arunachala, which is ever available to us within. And at that moment, the Parvati, the mother Parvati, who represents the Jiva, she became one with Ishvara. And that is the path that Parvati Devi has shown us to make us understand that Isha Jivayor Veshadhibida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam. And Shiva, when he appeared before Parvati and us, "Oh Parvati, I'm delighted by your sadhana. I'm delighted by your tapasya. Ask me, what do you want?" And Parvati said, "Oh Shiva, you are everything. And I am understand that in essence, I am Shiva too. But when this Vesha is different from you, there are some mistake which may happen. I may perform some unwanted activity. So I want you to make me not only one in essence, but also in the physical form. Make me one even physically." So when she prayed this, Shiva gave his own half of his body and made her his own half. This is as if to say, when a devotee prays to Bhagavan, to praise to a guru, the guru is ready to give himself to the devotee, himself to the disciple, and he makes them one in their state. So the Jiva, when it turns towards the Supreme, the Shiva is ready to give his own state to the Jiva and make it one with it. In essence, we are that, but for some reason, we are not able to understand that oneness. And through sadhana, by guiding our sadhana, Shiva is making us realize that we are one with that light. And Parvati being one with the Shiva, for all our sake, she again prays to that Shiva. Oh Shiva, let this day, when I united with you, let it be celebrated as Kartikai Deepam all over the world. And this to show that this hill is not an ordinary hill, but it is the hill of fire of knowledge. Let a huge lamp be lit at the peak of this Arunachala hill on this occasion of Kartikai Deepam. And those who see this lamp being lit, those who see that lamp, big lamp being lit, let them also be bestowed with that same state which you have blessed me with. The state where we completely understand that we are one with the Supreme. And she continues, for those who are not able to see this light, if they remember this light and they light a lamp in their own house, let them also be given that very same state that you have blessed me, the state of oneness with the Supreme. And she continued, so those who don't even have a lamp in their house, if they just remember this light in their heart, if they remember Arunachala in their heart, Smaranat Arunachalam, let them also be blessed with this very state that you have blessed me with. So Ramana says that only Smaranat Arunachalam, only the remembrance that we are Arunachala is enough for us to attain the supreme state which Parvati has attained. But we are so caught up, we forget this truth that we are in essence the Arunachala, we are in essence the Shiva Tattva. So we keep forgetting. So to remind us, Ramana has given us the path of self-inquiry. He says, the Shiva is ever there. It is just like the 10th man which the fools were searching for. The fools were counting people and finding out there were 10 when they started, but they are only counting 9 of them. And they were wondering, where is this 10th friend? They have lost this 10th friend, and they are with great sorrow crying and searching for this 10th missing man. But where was that 10th missing man? He was ever there in the beginning. When they thought he was lost, also the 10th man was there. Even when they were searching for the 10th man, that 10th man was ever there. At the last, when the guru, the wise man came, and he told that the 10th man was never missing, he was there. when the truth was known also, the 10th man is always there. And where is the 10th man? We are the 10th man we are searching for. We, instead of searching outside for that Ishvara, Ramana says he's there everywhere. When Ishvara is there everywhere, he can easily be found within each one of us. That is the closest place that we can find him. In Bible, Bhagavan says it is told that the heaven, the kingdom of God is within you, says the Bible too. So Ramana says the God that we are searching for is within. It is our own true nature. Even when we are unaware of this Ishvara, and we are running our lives with our mundane activities too, Ishvara is ever present. Even when we have this desire of finding out this Ishvara, the Ishvara is there. Even when we are doing our sadhana of turning within and finding our own true nature, the Ishvara is there. At the end, when we are ripe and we realize our oneness with the Ishvara, then too the same Ishvara reveals his presence which was ever there. So Ramana says, the Ishvara is ever there. So don't worry. At the right time, he will reveal his glory. But what we need to do is to be ready to see the Ishvara. The Ishvara will not be seen if our mind is clouded with various distractions. So we need to make our mind crystal clear, like that crystal Shivalinga. And we need to worship that Shivalinga with great love. When we are worshipping that crystal clear mind, which is Shivalinga, that image of Shiva, the crystal of Shivalinga, takes us to the source, to the essence of that Shivalinga, which it represents, and makes us realize with that Shiva Tattva, which we are. मैं हूँ कौन सोचता जब मैं हूँ कौन सोचता जब मैं सोच सोच सुधिहारी सोच सोच सुधिहारी तुमसे अलग न हो सकता मैं तुमसे अलग न हो सकता मैं अरुणाचलम विहारी अरुणाचलम विहारी अरुणाचला रमणा रमणा 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 अरुणाचला रमणा रमणा. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I thank all the satsangis of the meditation and study circle and Vaniji and Vasudevji for giving me this opportunity to meditate on these words of Bhagavan Ramana and share my insights. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.